Welcome back, Chapter 19. I signed up for Silver Sneakers, which was a baby step, but I didn't tell anyone in case things didn't work out. I also didn't want to start at the gym Code teaches at. I wanted to get into shape a little bit so I wouldn't look like I hadn't worked out in years. I don't like to sweat. The only time I really work up a sweat is in the summer when I walk BB King to the dog park, and even then, I carry my little battery-operated fan. I decided to start out easy by taking Zumba Gold class. It was a modified version for old folks. This way, I could have a little fun and just get some of my unused muscles moving. I bought a new workout outfit. It was black because I didn't want to draw attention to myself. I also had every intention of standing in the back, but it turned out there was no back because there were only 10 or 12 of us in a small studio with mirrored walls and blonde wooden floors. The instructor was old, fit, sexy, and gorgeous. She had on a tight purple sleeveless top and her stomach was so flat it looked like she had liposuction, but I knew she had earned it. I couldn't tell what nationality she was until she started showing us how to move our hips. Brazilian. After she told me not to feel intimidated as a first timer by how smoothly other people move because most of them had been in her class for over a year, she said, just watch me, but slow it down to 33 and a third or 45 RPMs if I'm moving at 78. I was happy as hell to hear her say RPMs because it was from a time when we listened to music on vinyl and called them records and they called it 3 speeds. They came in 3 speeds. But when she pressed a button on her iPad and the salsa music came blasting out, it scared the hell out of me. She started out by taking a slow step to the left and a slow step to the right. And when she moved forward, she swirled her hips so smoothly as if they had a brain of their own. And then she did the same thing when she stepped backwards. When I tried to imitate her, my stomach got in the way. And then she had us shake our booties and mine just kept jiggling. And finally, she had us speed up all these moves. When it felt like I was going to pass out, I just stopped, caught my breath, waved thank you and goodbye to her and left. I was never going to be Shakira. I decided I should go with a boring aerobics class, but I would come back to Zumba one day and shake my booty as smoothly as the rest of those silver hair hussies and the 2 fine gay men who move like Ricky Martin. I did not mention any of this to Ko, of course, because I knew for a fact that she now taught a hip-hop class. I decided when I felt I was in good enough shape not to pass out in the first 10 minutes, I would walk into her class and strut my stuff. Poochie finally moved back to Pasadena. Her new local orthopedist suggested she had both knees replaced, but weight on the hip. She had lost a lot of weight since we saw her in Vegas. Too much, we all agreed, except in her stomach, which was still bloated, probably because she couldn't really exercise for the past 5 or 6 years since caring for her mother had been her whole life. When will you do the hip? I asked. Next year. But how will you walk if your hip's still bad, Poochie? The way I've been walking, with a walker. What about the cruise? It's still 3 months from now. I should be good to go by then, even if I have to use a wheelchair. Good. We were all surprised that she hadn't got herself a fancy apartment. Poochie had always lived large. Instead, she was living at a senior facility a lot like mine's, except hers was newer. She was also bored, so when she asked if she could see where the new house was going to be, I happily agreed to meet her there. So, this is going to be the spot, huh? She asked as she pushed her walker with the tennis balls on the front through the space. This is it, I said. Lots of renovation to be done, but I finally signed all the paperwork, and thanks to my husband, the bank won't have to be my friend. Poochie smiled as if she was remembering Carl. I see the potential, although it seems too big just to sell beauty products. I've got plans, Poochie, But let's go across the street and have a coffee because the dust in here is getting to me. It's not bothering you? No, I don't smell it. But I do need to use the bathroom. I can't stay long anyway because I've got a doctor's appointment. It feels like we've always going to the doctors these days, huh? Yes, it does. To be honest, Poochie, you look a little weird. How much weight have you lost? She shrugged her shoulders. About 15 or 20 pounds since you were in Vegas. It's the grief, but it'll help with my recovery after the surgery. It looked more like 25. Poor Poochie. As she rolled her walker toward the room to the left, it hit me that her real name is Pearline. She never liked it. Her grandmother always called her Poochie. It stuck. In high school, some of us didn't know what her real name was. I always wonder why black folks like to nickname their kids. Although I might admit, I never liked Laretha either. It sounded like a name for an old lady, which of course suited me now. I don't mind being called Lo, although sometimes it does get on my nerve, especially when people used to say, "How low can you go, Lo?" I never thought it was funny, which was why I never laughed. When my second husband's sister, who I didn't like, said that to me at a barbecue, I said, "Let's see how low you can go, ho." And I pushed her onto the table where the hot dog buns were, and they flew all over the grass and into the pool like little submarines. There were other reasons I couldn't stand her, of course. She once accused me of being high and mighty because I went to college and got one of those things called a bachelor's degree. College don't make you better than everybody who didn't go, she said at a family reunion right after I had Jackson. Not better, I said, cutting my eyes at her, just smarter. And I stormed off, wondering how I managed to marry into this family of misfits. But then I banished that thought because it would prove her right. "Poochie," I said, as I watched her push her walker across the concrete floor, leaving her size 11 footprints in the dust. "What's really on your mind?" "I'm scared," she said. "Oh, come on now. A lot of folks have knee replacements, and as long as you do what the doctor tells you to do, you'll have a good recovery." "That's what they say." "Well, at least it's not something life-threatening, Poochie." "I know, but just pick a joint or body part and it feels like I have to replace it." "Do you really think it's smart to have both knees replaced at the same time?" "The jury is out on it. My doctor says yes. Kill two birds with one procedure. I can't stand this arthritis pain." "Everybody has arthritis," I said just to make her feel better. "Where's yours? I've never heard you complain." "In my ankle. I twisted it getting off that van when we came back from Vegas, and it feels like it's taken forever to heal." This was a lie, and I prayed I wasn't jinxing myself. "Have you gone to Corinthia's hip-hop class yet?" "Well, I wanted to start, but the doctor told me to take some yoga classes first, which will help me stretch better." Of course, this was another lie. Why do she lie like that? Just tell the truth. "Wow, and that doesn't hurt?" I shook my head no. I didn't know why I was lying because once you tell one, exactly. "Is yoga hard?" "Not really." "What kind of yoga is it?" Why does she have so many to be so damn nosy? "Siddhartha." I heard that one's really tough, but good for you, Lo. "So when is your surgery?" 2 weeks from tomorrow." "Well, we'll make sure to be there to cheer when they push you out of recovery." "No, I don't want you all to come." "Why not?" "Because I just don't. I'll only be in the hospital for 2 to 3 days, and then I'll do rehab for 2 to 3 weeks. I don't want you to see me until I'm strong." This is the stupidest idea I've heard come out of your mouth since that cruise to no damn where. "We're your friends, Poochie." "I know. And speaking of cruises, everything has been finalized, so don't say shit. But you hussies do not owe me a dime because I've already paid for the whole thing, including a guest for each of you because this is the last time I think I'm going to be able to do this doggone cruise. Have you lost your freaking mind? Yes. But why, Poochie? Because I think it's time for us to figure out somewhere we can go on dry land. I've got some good news and some bad news, Cole said as we finished walking around part of the Rose Bowl. This time, I brought BB King. I could tell he was skeptic and jealous of how perky some of the other dogs were. He tried to trot like some of them who passed him, but he just ended up limping, then groaning, and then finally just dropped down. I bent down and rubbed his head and said, "It's okay, BB." I then shook my head as I looked up at Corinthia. "Give me the bad news first, as long as it's not something that will take me a long time to get over. I don't think I want to work at the House of Beauty when you have it back up and running." "This is bad news?" She looked disappointed that I wasn't disappointed. "Well, yeah. Don't you want to know why?" "I'm sure you have a good reason, but okay, why?" "Because I don't know a damn thing about hair and makeup and beauty products. And with all the new services you want to offer, I just think it makes more sense for you to hire some foxy young girls instead of my old ass." "I agree." "You bitch," she said, and then we both started laughing. "Okay, so tell me the good news." "Wait, don't. I'll take BB home and you keep running and meet me at my house when you're done." To be honest, I don't really feel like running because I'm too excited about what I have to tell you. So I'll meet you at your crib in 10 minutes. When I pulled into my driveway, I didn't recognize the black Kia parked out front, but I did recognize Peggy. Ugh, what in the world did this woman want, and why didn't she call me first? I know, Peggy act like they good friends. Frenemies. I got out of my car and let BB King in the side door, then turned around and headed for her car. She was getting out of hers too and walking towards me like she was going to shoot me or something. "What are you doing here?" I asked. "Well, hello to you too, Laretha." "Did you forget how to call?" "No, I did not." "Did something happen to my daughter?" "No, she's fine." I felt relieved, although I didn't quite believe her, and I knew she was up to something. "Where is she?" "At my house." "Speaking of which, could you please give me your address since you obviously have mine? And also, I have a friend on her way over here and we have something important to discuss. So could you please let me call you a little later? Jalecia is pregnant." "Did you just say pregnant?" "And she cannot and should not and does not want to keep it." "Why not?" "Because she doesn't know whose it is. She can't remember." I saw Cole turn the corner, but when she saw the look on my face, she just kept driving. "So what do you want me to do about it?" "It's about $400 plus add $200 or $300 for rent." Are you serious, Peggy? Google it. How many months is she? She claims 2, so probably 3. You drove all the way over here to tell me this? I was in the neighborhood. I crossed my arms and put all my weight on one foot. Your daughter needs help, you know. I thought she was going someplace to get clean. That's what she told Cinnamon. She goes to AA when she feels like it. But I'm not talking about that kind of help, Larethia. Drugs? I'm sure she does some of that too, but I believe she's suffering from depression. I just don't know what kind. She doesn't like to talk about how she feels. If you can get her some good health insurance and she could talk to a doctor about this problem, it might help her get the other ones under control. I looked at her hard, and I could tell she was not trying to bullshit me, that she really was concerned about my daughter. Thank you, Peggy. I want to help her, but I don't know what kind of help she needs, and I still don't. but maybe a doctor does. Look, Laretha, I know you don't like me and you think I'm just pimping you for money, and you are. I've got a good pension, but it's only enough for me. My niece has been costing me extra and I can't afford to take care of her grown ass by myself. You feel me? I feel you. You want to come in? No. So how do you want it? You can use Western Union. I would also appreciate it if you would give me your address. I thought I gave it to you before. No, you didn't. I'll text it to you right now. And she did. You can send it today? I suppose I can. But get on top of the insurance, Laretha, because it might help you save your daughter's life. And she got in her black Kia and sped off. Pregnant and depressed. I just stood there and felt tears rolling down my face. And then I heard myself yell after her. I've been trying to help my daughter save her own life, but first she needs to know it's worth it. Worth saving, bitch. That's the end of chapter 19. Jalicia's pregnant. Peggy is getting on my nerve because nobody is telling her to help Jalicia, who's 41 years old, pregnant and on drugs. It's coming off strange to me because she's trying to make it seem like Laretha is not taking care of her daughter and she got to do it. So Laretha have to pay for the fact that Peggy, supposedly doing it out of kindness of her heart, have to pay her to take care of her or take care of Jalicia. I just don't believe Peggy is doing it from the kindness of her heart. I do believe that she's trying to take advantage of her. Take advantage of Laretha. Now, I'm thinking enough is enough, Lo. Like, I feel like she's not really thinking. Like, put some oomph in it and get to the bottom of what's going on. Like, really. Let me exhale because I know I'm putting myself in her shoes, but I just wouldn't handle it the way she's handling it. People handle things the way they handle things. I just wish that she demand more of Peggy and Jalicia and try to figure it out. But that's the end of this chapter. I shall see you in the next chapter. Bye for now.